Okay, let's try one last thing. Now, I've already shown you a few things, and I admit I had a hand in them. I can take some credit for them. But this one comes down to you. In fact, not just you, it comes down to your imagination. This will work or not work based on how strong your imagination is. Now, along with the deck of cards, we're also going to use a blindfold. Now, don't worry. At first you can see it's a fancy, very fancy paper blindfold. I'm not going to blindfold you. I'm actually going to blindfold the pack. I'm going to ask you to reach over in a moment and lift off some of the cards in the deck. However, the key to this is that you cut as many cards as you want. You can lift off 3 cards, lift off half the pack. Make sure you really feel the pack, and make sure, want this as fair as possible, just lift off some cards, just a few inches, wherever you feel like it. Reach on over. Wherever you feel like it. You're sure, right there. Okay, I'm going to let you take a peek at the card you cut to. Take a look at it. Remember, keep it in mind. Okay, you cut to a card. I'll take the rest of the cards back. Cover the pack like this. Now, normally, if I were performing live for people, like in a restaurant or a banquet, I would hand them the deck of cards at this point, you know, and really build the effect from there. But we'll do it here in studio just like this. I'll keep the deck in full view, though. You're thinking of a card. You cut wherever you want to do in the pack. You have one card in mind. I want you to forget that card. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Forget it. Instead, let's focus on the other cards. Let's start with the red cards. I want you to see them. The hearts, the diamonds. See them in your mind. See all that red, and now imagine that red getting softer, lighter. It goes from red to light red to pink, and then from pink to gone. Think of all those hearts and diamond cards. They used to have ink on them. Now they're blank in your mind. Now let's go to the clubs and spades. Again, all that black ink gets softer, fades. Black to gray, from gray to gone. Blank, gone. Let's work with the backs now. Think of all the red ink, all that red ink. Imagine the red ink again going from dark red to light red, from light red to pink, from pink to gone. Now I ask you to focus on every card but your card. I want you to see right there, well, that's already promising. Right there. A blank. A blank. In fact, my guess is, and I trust you here, that, yeah, as I thought you would, every single back of the card, they're all blank. Now let's take a moment to look at the faces. Oh, yeah, look. Blank, 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 blank. All blank. Every single card. Except for one card, which I'm pretty sure is the one card you had in mind. And what makes this such a strong closing effect, apart from the drama, apart from they can cut the pack anywhere they want, what makes it so strong is at this point I can hand out literally every single card in the pack and they can be closely examined. Reputation making magic is about images. It's one of the keys to really creating magic that people will hold on to in their brains for a long time. Images. And this image alone, I mean, lay people have never even seen a single playing card. It's clearly a playing card with the corners and that's blank on both sides. This is a strange thing. If they found this on the sidewalk and picked it up, they wouldn't know it was a playing card. But they would know that it seems strangely glossy, that like there's something a little odd about this. The fact that you have an entire pack at the end that you can hand out, this image alone, when they unwrap the paper napkin, because I always have them do it at the end, and I don't always use a paper napkin, incidentally. You can use a paper napkin. I've used a sheet of newspaper. I've also borrowed a sweater from someone and just draped the sweater if it's not too thick, skiing sweater. If it's just a light sweater or someone's jacket, even can drape it over. They can cut the pack through that. So you can incorporate that. It's one of these things that has a lot of flexibility. I've done this close-up, done this stand-up, because this, again, I mean, you can see this from probably, you know, certainly 100 yards away. You can see the cards are totally blank. And the gesture, the action of handing the cards to somebody reads and communicates to everybody in the space, no matter how many people are there, that the cards somehow are blank and now can be examined. Everything is copacetic. It's real. The magic, the mentalism, it's real. This is a combination of magic and mentalism, of course, because what happens is magical, but the whole thing happens in their brain. And I really focus on that. It's so much fun. As a closer, this is just like very hard to beat, because it takes all the focus from you and puts it on them, puts the onus on them. They do everything. And the core to this, the inspiration behind this whole effect, was this force. That there's a technique involved with this, very old idea, that not a lot of magicians know. Because what you need to know, though, as magicians, as someone considering using this, is first, there is literally no real sleight of hand, number one. Number two, the pack works with any poker-sized deck in the world. I don't care what brand you love. Any brand of poker cards you use, you can incorporate those cards with the special deck. That's something you need to know. It's not just with Bicycle brand. I mean, I love Bicycle. I use Bicycle for lots of reasons. But whatever cards you use can use with this special deck. As for the very special technique that does the force, you need to know that they can cut the cards anywhere they want. I'm not using some sort of pinky force on the cut or forcing a cut. They can lift 4 cards. They can lift 40 cards. Free choice. And that's really important. Really important with this. They can cut the cards anywhere they want, and yet, you know, you're in total control the entire time. It's an awesome, awesome force. When I first came across this force years ago, my brain sort of said, okay, what's the best way to squeeze the most magic out of this technique? And this is definitely it. Yeah, it's just really strong, really visual, close-up, stand-up, easy to do, surefire, and the fact you can hand everything out at the end just drops jaws every single time. And included with the instructions are not 1, but 2 very special bonus handlings. One is something I call litmus test, and I've been doing it for a long time. And it's a little bit of sleight of hand, real basic stuff. It's, I think, a really inspired structure, again, about having a card go from blank to face to back, and it's all with a thought-of card. And I've been using that for a long, long time. It's a great opening effect, actually. While this effect, Brainwash, is actually a great closing effect, litmus is a great opening effect. Really perfect for walk around, perfect for banquets. I also include, for the very first time available anywhere, my signed card version of Brainwash, because to do it in this way is great, but if you can do it with a signed card, you get that extra level of investment from the audience. And the final image spreading through, and they're all blank, both sides, except for the one signed card. I don't think it makes it a better effect necessarily, but it's a great option to have, particularly in those shows, those really special shows where you want to take everything to that next level, right? I mean, there's something about having a signed card that so often takes the magic up a notch or two because of the visuals and because of the emotional investment and all that stuff. So both those bonus effects come complete with Brainwash.